Good morning, friends. I'm so excited because it is the new year, and that means that I have now been a podcaster for an entire year. And not only that, I have kept to my original goal of releasing 2 episodes every week for that entire time, except for last week. With the Christmas holiday, it didn't work out the way I thought it would, especially since I'm moving to my office now from my living room. And so things have been a little bit hectic and crazy. But luckily, I still have that many episodes because I've actually had a couple weeks where I released more than 2 episodes. So I'm counting that as a win. And this is how my brain works, just a little inside scoop on that. But thank you guys so much for listening and for downloading and for sharing with your friends and leaving me these amazing reviews, 5-star reviews. Oh, it's been so awesome because it really helps me know that you appreciate what I'm putting out there. I never claim that this is for everybody, but I do feel like there's a significant amount of creatives out there that can use this different perspective and ideas and mindset shifts that we offer on this podcast. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And actually today, as part of the episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about New Year's resolutions, how I feel about them, and just kind of meeting you guys halfway with whatever thoughts you are having currently on this beautiful January 2nd. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey Barr and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No, this is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this. You are worth it. And you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying that every year as the New Year's rolls around, I always drag my feet around making new ideas and new projects and new goals and that kind of thing for the, guess what, brand new year where there's all these new opportunities and I get to shift my focus onto something else. This is particularly noticeable with businesses because we're like, okay, we just closed out the year. Did it look good? Did it not? What can we do better? Blah, blah, blah. And so I do find myself gearing up for that and thinking, nope, not doing it. I'll tell you the biggest reason why I drag my feet around it. And that is because I sort of loathe doing things because other people do them. Like it's always been, sorry, I'm just saying, it's like this genuine rebel inside of me that's like, no, we don't do that because other people do that in droves. 1, and 2, it doesn't always work for them. But also, I don't want to do something because other people do it. That's just never been any kind of motivation or goal of mine. Okay. I like to find out what I want to do, and I do it because I want to do it, right? So I oftentimes let this date come up to me right in the face and be like, oh, by the way, new year, new you. And I'm like, oh, okay. But here's the deal. And I want you guys to think about this. Whether or not you believe that it's a new year, right? There's a lot of controversy, we'll say, around there's supposed to be 13 months in the calendar. That way every month is 28 days and we've actually been doing it wrong, right? Or astrology-wise, this shouldn't be another month. We should go with the moon cycle. All of these things, okay? So whether or not you believe that it is actually a new year, what you can't deny is that there is noticeable energy shift that happens with the new year. So there is a vibe that people are putting off that's like, ooh, let's make good choices. Let's do things that are good for our body. Let's switch up the way that we we organize. This would be mine. Hello. Let's switch up the way we do XYZ. It's a great opportunity then for you to jump on board. Okay. And that is because you cannot deny that there is an energy in the air. There is an opening of new opportunities. There are people even seeking out new opportunities that might involve you, by the way. It might involve you or your business or your personal life, whatever it could be. So there's an absolute way of going about this where you actually go with the flow. And that means you do kind of dig in and say, what could I change? Now, I do not recommend that this be the ultimate change in your life for whatever reason. I think people put it on a pedestal like it's supposed to be this magical thing that happens. And now all of a sudden we eat healthy and we do all these things. Hey, you know what? We just need like a couple goals. We just need like a few things to focus on for the year. And it is honestly a great time to ride that wave with other people where you're like, okay, fine. I'll take a look at my life and I'll say, in this topic, could use a little help, right? So that's my idea behind New Year's. I think that it's actually not a bad time if you're feeling so inclined to ride that wave of motivation and see what you come up with. But I think it's a ridiculous time to think that your entire life is going to change or that for some reason, this is the ultimate opportunity for you, because then let's say you decide to change something that's not really in alignment. So when it comes up in February, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with that. I actually tried that before. It didn't work out for me. So I'm like giving up for the rest of my life or at least the rest of 2024. So really dig in. Now, I sent out an email this past week that I got a lot of comments about, and it's something that I haven't talked about very much, but I really, really want to dive into this energy that I've been feeling of detoxing, and it actually hasn't left with the new year. So there's a lot of cleaning out that needs to happen. So you're already listening to this in 2024. That's fine. You didn't have to start January 1, okay? But understand that when the world and the energy lines up to want a detox, I call it, it's a great time to jump in. It's a great time to jump in. Basically, it'll be easier than any other time. And so look at your life, and I really want you to get a piece of paper. And yes, this is going to be a learning thing, so you do have to get a piece of paper. And I want you to write down a couple things that you have had issues letting go of this year. And maybe it's been things that you've always had issues letting go of, or maybe it's even been something that you had no idea you needed to address until this very moment, or even the last couple months. Whatever it is, okay, write it down. And then I want you to take that piece of paper and put it in a box. I call it a God box. You can call it a universe box. You can call it the divine box. Whatever you want to call it is fine. But you're going to put that down. You're going to put it in that box. And I want you to consciously think, okay, I'm stepping away from this problem. What does it feel like if I allow myself to step away from this issue or this concern or this difficulty, whatever it is? And I want you to just sit with that for however long you need. Okay, I've done this where I put something in the box for a day, and I've done this where I've put something in the box for a month before I felt like I could honestly detach emotionally from that. And that's really what the goal is, okay? You want to sit with that and say, what if I did let this go? Just know that some things are going to be harder than others, and that's okay. But when you're asking what if, you're allowing yourself to entertain a possibility of being able to live without that problem or that issue. Sometimes that means that we cut people out of our lives, right? Sometimes that means that we relinquish control over a situation or a person. Maybe it's an adult child, right? Or maybe it's not even an adult child. Maybe it's a younger child that honestly gets to make their own decisions on this topic. So just allow yourself to sit with that and say, what would this look like for me? And you will notice that you will start to emotionally shift away from having to deal with that. Okay, at least having to deal with that on a deep level. You will feel those shifts, but again, it might take Might take more than a couple days, okay? It might take a little bit. And then what you do is, as it's in the box, when you finally feel like you're ready, you can really tap in intuitively and you could say, okay, am I ready to let this go? And when you get a yes, when you feel like, okay, I can do this, that's when I want you to remove it from the box and read it one last time. And then just say a very simple mantra, okay? And it's going to be something like this, but please switch it around to whatever's comfortable for you. But something to the effect of, Heavenly Father, thank you for this experience or this challenge or this invitation to see this topic differently. I now give it back to you, knowing that I have done all I can with it. And I ask you to take it at this time. Okay? It feels good to say it. Okay, it really does. It feels so good to be able to say that. And then after that, you get to do whatever you want. I've torn it up before, I've burned it before. Sometimes burning is just like really fun. So you can do whatever you want with that piece of paper. But essentially, we are now saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye because guess what? You have done all you can about this. You no longer can carry it as emotional baggage. It is time for you to accept help with it. It's time for someone to take that load for you. Okay. And that's what it's all about, is about relinquishing that control. You would be surprised. So many of us are not, quote, controlling people. And yet with some of our emotional baggage, we hold on to it. We think that it defines us. We think that when we let go of this, that's it. We're no longer the same person. Even if it's a bad thing, that's what we think oftentimes because it's become comfortable to carry it around with us. But when you really think about it, is it really comfortable? Because I think maybe not. I think maybe it's time that we release some of this stuff. So for you in January, if you decide that you do not need to do anything else for the new year and you don't really feel like doing any resolutions or anything, what I would suggest is to still detox. Emotionally, energetically, whatever it is. You could do it physically too, but detox in a way that allows your spirit to let go. Because when you're able to let go of some of these things, that's when you get new chapters. That's when you get new opportunities. And if it aligns with the new year, hey, that's cool. But if not, allow yourself some space to say, you know what, I'm not really in the new goal phase yet, or I'm not in a phase where I get to make a lot of new goals. Maybe I'm just going to change one thing, but I'm also going to address my emotional and mental health around this particular topic. And just allow that to be your story for right now. Okay. My biggest thing, you guys, this is just one of the cornerstones of my life and my business, is we all have the ability to tap inside and pull up intuitively what we need to work on. We can pull up a way to solve our problems. We can do anything we need. That power is inside. It's just been turned off for too long. Or it's been completely ignored. That's possible too. And it's not something that we need to sit there and be like, well, that's my fault. I need to do it differently, whatever. No, let's just make the shifts. Let's not worry about faults. Let's not worry about anything else, regrets, right? Let's just make the necessary shifts we need to get us where we need to go. So intuitively, I think if this is calling to you, I think you take that biggest thing on your list and give the God box a try. See what happens for you and just allow yourself to continue to release, even though we're in the new year. And there's a lot of expectations that we have got to make big changes now, right? Just continue on your path, and whatever calls to you, that's what you should work on. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful to you. Please let me know if you try this out, because it is probably one of the coolest things. I love to see the shifts that can happen from this. When you're ready, when you're tuned in, when you are aligned with what's going on the inside, then you get the best direction and the best opportunity to let go. All right, guys, have a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you again soon.
I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on, because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.